It is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer, along for the ride as well. It's good to have like our Baseball Today family reunited for the first time in almost a week, isn't it?
It does feel like our young kids have been away doing
Yeah.
things, and now, we bring them back into the house. I'll cook them a home-cooked meal, you'll read them a story, we'll tuck them in, Chris. It's nice.
Not once have you invited the four of us over for a barbecue where you grill all your meats and stuff like that.
This weekend would be great, actually. It's gonna be nice weather. Let's do it.
Okay, just
Do you eat
saying.
red meat, Chris? Or are you a
Well,
soy boy?
I am I am non-discriminatory when it comes to
Me
food. This
too.
is why I look the way I look. But you look the way you look because of different
I
reasons.
like
It's
tofu and I like edamame. I like
oh,
everything.
that's okay, good, good. All right, usually we do a tip of the cap. I don't think we were feeling like it after last night. Just a crappy way to end the evening of good baseball watching. Thinking about Oswaldo Cabrera of the New York Yankees, who trying to tack on a late run in the ninth inning, slides into home. Something terrible happened to his lower leg. We're still awaiting word. He had to ride an ambulance off the field. The whole place was shook. Not just the Yankees, the Mariners, their fans, the whole bit. Here is the captain afterward.
Yeah, this is bigger than a win. It's like I said, what Cabrera's meant to this team, what he means to me. A guy that shows up early, does his work. He he cares for everybody in this room. He cares. He loves being a Yankee. He wears this jersey with pride. No, this is a tough one, especially a guy that's grinded his whole life and finally got an opportunity to be our everyday guy and has been excelling at it. And to see something like this, it's tough.
I listened to the entire post game press conferences on Yes, and they were all of that tone. It was almost like the season had ended for the Yankees, and it wasn't after a huge win on the road. And it was just tough to hear everything last night.
I mean, it's just a really, really sad situation. We talk about all the time the guys that show up to the clubhouse with a smile on their face, what that means to a team. And obviously, Oswaldo was that guy for the Yankees. So, it just seeing him on the ground in pain like that was just a really tough watch. And he has worked really hard to establish himself on the team. I love the fact that Judge was talking about him, you know, loving putting the jersey on. Like that means something. And that's why I think you're hearing, the that tone from everybody with the Yankees, just because of the kind of guy he is. Obviously, anybody that gets hurt like that, you're going to feel bad. It's not going to be a great situation. But, a guy like Oswaldo and the vibe that he brings, seeing him in pain like that it's really tough.
We're fairly fortunate in watching this sport that the injuries that we usually have to deal with are shoulders, elbows, which are truly debilitating for the player, but you don't sit there as a fan and you're not like, ooh. But we've now had two in the last week with Tyler Callahan running into the wall for the Reds, and now this one at the plate where you get. I mean, this is usually reserved for Sundays in the NFL. Not that it makes it any easier if you're a fan of both sports, but we don't usually have to deal with this as fans and as teams.
I'm not really sure what even happened with Cabrera. It just
Yeah.
looks like his cleat got caught, and the momentum was carrying him over, and his
Mhm.
ankle just didn't roll that way. And it looks like he broke his leg.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna find out
I
much
don't
more
know.
before the game, I'm sure, with Aaron Boone's press conference.
There's a shot. I mean, I know we don't want to show it, but there's a shot of him in pain, and then he like makes sure he reaches for the plate,
Yeah.
and
Well,
you're like,
Judge yeah.
golly, man, like.
Yeah, Judge said as much that as he was being taken away in the ambulance, he asked Judge, "Did I score?" Who I mean,
Atta
that's
boy.
right?
That's a
Uh,
gamer right there, man. All the best vibes to
that's it.
Oswaldo because he came through our studio. He's been
Smiley.
really, really nice to our company as well. Not that that matters. Like we're gonna feel for the guy no matter what, but we're a little closer to the situation. So
Yeah, smiley dude. You can tell he's good energy for that squad. Um, we'll find out a little bit more. I'm sure he'll address everybody. That's the sort of guy he is, and send our well wishes. Let's get back to the games that we play. the Detroit Tigers, they keep rolling along. They dust Boston. Detroit had a 9-run third, thanks in part to an E9.
Yes, sir. Base hit on the pull side. 1 run in. Here comes Colt around third. It gets away all the way to the wall. Riley Green on the carousel. On the way home, he's there.
Great call by Benetti, as always. And with Abreu, I mean, if you would pick a right fielder to have that happen to in this sport, he's about like bottom 2.
Yeah, I know. That's my guy. It's tough to watch that simultaneously two absolutely different feelings happening. Abreu, like the pit in his stomach, just he wants to crawl in a hole there, and then Green being like, "Oh, I'm gonna score right here. We got to turn the Jets on."
You ever have a ball when you didn't play outfield a lot, but when you did you ever have one get past you like that where you're like, oh my God?
No, not one past me like that. I mean, I had the one I'll never forget. I was playing right field in Yankee Stadium. So that's like about the worst place that you can play outfield in all of baseball. It truly is the worst spot to play outfield is right field in Yankee Stadium. I mean, right field in Boston, I'm sure is not great either, but Yankee Stadium particularly is horrible.
Why? You're just saying because of the fans being on
Yes, the fans are
okay.
crazy.
Well, I thought it was
I
something.
can't even say the things that were being said to
Okay.
me.
All right, fine.
You
I get that.
can't. I can't. I remember a 9-year-old kid yelling obscene things at me, and I turned around like, "What is that squeaky voice? What the fuck?" But CC, it was CC was pitching that day, and he used to rub the balls up so dark, dude. You couldn't even see him. It was ridiculous. And so ball gets hit down the line, and it gets into like the warning track, but like on the foul side, there's dirt there, and I couldn't see it, and just like I booted it. So it didn't go by me, but I booted it. It was an error. I had to go back and obviously go back to right field, and my goodness, it's getting yelled at a little bit, Chris.
You
Not a
wore
good
it.
feeling.
Okay. So I want to know how many of the following statements are true. The AL Central is underrated. The AL East is overrated.
I think 1. I was gonna say 2. I was gonna just bomb on the AL East, but I think it is 1. I think the AL Central is underrated. I think the AL East isn't overrated. I think it's properly rated. Because I don't think any person in baseball is like, oh, the vaunted AL East. Like, I don't think they think that right now. So I think it's properly rated. Most people that are following the game of baseball right now are saying, hey, the National League. That's where the best baseball is being played. But I do have some stats, Chris, because the AL Central does have the most wins of any division, 109 combined wins. The next closest is the National League West at 105. The AL East is actually the only team without 100 wins. They sit at 99 wins today. So here's the thing about the AL Central that people don't really give them credit for. It's the pitching. I mean, it's nasty, Chris. Right now, if you go to just team ERA, the Royals are second in all of baseball. The Tigers are third in all of baseball, and the Twins are fourth in all of baseball. And somehow your fucking Guardians have the record they have, and their team ERA is 20th in baseball. That's supposed to be their calling card. And it's not. They're still winning games. I don't understand it. But yeah, I mean, the pitching's been really good, and I think that maybe even the hitting is a little underrated in some of those divisions. The Royals really haven't gotten it going, but I would say AL Central underrated. I even underrate the AL Central. But I'm not going to give the AL East overrated. I think it's properly rated.
I think that a lot of people are hesitant to give high marks to the AL Central because of what usually happens to their teams come playoff time. And last year, both the Royals and the Guardians were eliminated by the eventual American League champion New York Yankees. The Tigers were eliminated by the Guardians, but had eliminated the Astros. I do think that there are 4 solid teams. I don't love the Twins as much as you obviously do. I think that the Tigers, I think it goes Tigers, Royals, Guardians, Twins in that order. But I think now some people say, well, hold on, they get to play the White Sox. Well, you know what? When we talk about the National League West, nobody is like, well, they get to play the Rockies. Like we just say those teams, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants are all good. We don't ever say, well, like, hey, they get to play the Rockies. So stop with the whole White Sox thing.
Can I help you out real quick in your argument here? Well, it is
Sure.
true because the AL Central, those 4 teams are 14-2 versus the White Sox this year.
Right, but they've all played one series
Chris,
against them.
let me finish.
Okay.
Against the AL East, the Tigers are 6-1, the Twins are 5-1, the Royals are 8-7, and the Guardians are 6-6.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can counter that White Sox argument.
Now let me get to the other side of this.
Okay.
Which is, I think the Yankees are a really good team. I haven't decided, much like the Tigers, if they're American League good or legitimately good. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. I think Boston is pretty decent. And then the other 3 teams, I mean, Baltimore is a lost season. They feel like they're going to be a seller at the deadline unless they turn this around over the next month, that they could have some pieces that go. Tampa Bay is whatever. They're okay. And the Blue Jays, I think this is where they are. I think they're going to be a 500-ish team. They always feel like they've got more talent than their final record indicates, but for whatever reason, I don't think, they're only 3.5 out, but they don't feel like they're much of a threat to me, at least. So do I think they're overrated? We mention East Coast teams in virtually every sport, and we think that they are the best because they're normally these enormous media markets and they have such fan base, and so people generate interest. We talk about the Dallas Cowboys ad nauseum all the time in the NFC East and things of that nature. Well, they've got to be better. The New York teams, they've got to be more. No, they're what they are. They're a below average division to me.
Okay. I mean, I guess if I had to rate them below average, average, or above average, I would just say average. I don't know about below average.
Well, I would say that the AL Central and the NL West are the 2 best.
Okay.
No? Do you think the AL East or the NL East is better?
Oof. The NL East, I think.
I would agree with that. So now
If I had to
you're
pick,
looking at the
yeah.
4th best division in baseball. Is it better or worse than the NL Central? I think it's slightly better. And now you've got the AL West. Is it better or worse than the
Is it
AL
better
West?
than the NL Central?
Yes.
I mean, the Cardinals are kind of going right now. The Brewers are going to be there. We think the Cubs are one of the better teams in baseball.
No.
The Reds are on par with who? The Blue Jays. I would put them on par with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I would.
And
Well, okay,
then the
so
Pirates
maybe.
are not as good as the Rays.
Well, we've figured it out, everybody. The AL East equal to the NL Central.
Oh gosh, can't wait. Who do I root for? People, I got this one guy arguing with me on Instagram right now about that I'm a Dodgers fan because I posted a video or a picture of me and Olivia at the Dodger game with my LA hat that I made for the Rams. And I'm like, people think I root for the Yankees, the Dodgers, and then people say I hate the Yankees, I hate the Dodgers. Dude, I can't take it anymore, Chris. I'm so fed up. I don't root for any team except for the Twins.
Then stop
And like
interacting.
sometimes I don't even root for them.
Then stop interacting. That's my fatherly advice to you. You don't have to.
Ah,
Don't let it bother you, please.
it bothers me a little bit.
It does. I can tell. But we want to
I
hear
was like,
from
hey,
you.
bro,
Huh?
with the picture that I have an LA hat on, I'm also wearing an Andrew McCutchen fucking t-shirt, dude.
Yes.
So like,
Way
can
to
I just be a
support.
fan of baseball? Is
Yes.
that not allowed anymore?
Absolutely, you can be.
My fandom is going to look different than other people's fandom. I think that's
fine.
okay.
You do you. That's fine.
Thank you,
But we
Chris.
want you to chime in to the story here. Is the AL Central underrated? Is the AL East overrated? If so, why? Leave us a comment. Get it going. Let's do this. I love it. Great comments yesterday. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. Excellent, as I like to say. Well, today's episode of Baseball Today, it is brought to you by Brunt Workwear. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. If they lasted, they wrecked your feet. Well, Brunt Workwear finally ended that trade-off. Designed boots that withstand the toughest job sites while feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. These might be the most comfortable work boots ever on the planet, even right out of the box. Not only are they incredibly comfortable, they also deliver real performance on the job. And it doesn't stop there, as Brunt also offers a full line of high performance gear as well. Now, Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot. They reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. And for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Brunt by using the code TODAY at checkout. Just head on over to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code TODAY. You're all set. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support this show, Baseball Today. Tell them we sent you and enjoy. You'll feel great. You'll get your work done. You'll look tough. That's the way we roll. Thanks to Brunt. Have you tried on your Brunt work boots yet?
They're amazing, by the way. And I put them on, and Olivia started looking at me a certain way. She's, oh, okay. What, you about to get some work done? I said, no, I'm just trying them on, but we can role play that.
Might come as a shock. I'm normally not a boot guy, but Michelle's like, where'd these come from? I was like, yeah, the gang sent them.
I'm gonna get you a tool belt too.
Oh my gosh, forget
really
it.
Get it going. Yeah,
it's over. And now that I've dropped a little bit of weight, I might go tool belt, jeans, Brunts, no shirt. Just saying.
You lost me there.
What do you mean?
Put a shirt
on. I might take a picture.
Some friendly advice.
All right, let's move on to this. Corbin Carroll, he had a blast in San Francisco. Actually, make it a double, bartender.
Games against LA. And he blasts this one deep to center. Jung-Hoo Lee all the way to the wall. And it's gone. Corbin Carroll, that's 2 off Verlander. And a 2-0 Diamondback lead.
So what's the bigger story to come out of this game? That it really seems like Corbin Carroll is back to that 2023 form, or that we're 6 weeks into the season and Justin Verlander is still looking for his first win as a San Francisco Giant?
I'm going to go with Corbin Carroll here. He's just been doing it all season long. And look, we knew that the Diamondbacks offense, I don't know if it surprised everyone last year. It's not surprising anyone this year. Like, they are absolutely rolling right now. And their pitching hasn't been as good as we thought it would be, especially the starters. And then obviously the bullpen has just been something they have to figure out ASAP. But he's had 11 games, Chris, this year where he hasn't gotten a hit, but only 6 games where he hasn't got on base, which is crazy. Like, he's just kind of like doing it all. We know they can play some defense out there. He can run the bases. He's going to lead the league in triples like he usually does. It's really, really fun to watch him. And then I think he just doesn't get enough credit for the power that he possesses. He doesn't look like a big guy, but he can absolutely torch the ball. And I've told this story before, but I remember talking to Evan Longoria about him when Evan suited up for the D-backs. He goes, dude, this guy has more power than almost anyone. And it comes from a smaller body, but damn, man, it's just really fun to watch him play. So I'm excited that he's back, healthy, feeling good, because I think the Diamondbacks, I know they're sitting at only 2 games over 500 right now, but they have so much potential. They're a team. We saw them do it in 2023. If they get hot and everything lines up, like they're as formidable as anyone in baseball. They got to fix that bullpen, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, those injuries to Martinez and Puck are devastating. And, yeah, they're going to
where would that team be right now if they they have – we were doing this on Talk of Baseball the other day. They've had 6 games where it's just been – they've given up 14 runs but also scored, they've had these massive games.
Right.
Like, they need to figure that out quickly.
Number 1, how old is Corbin Carroll?
Ooh, 28.
He's 24.
Oh my God.
Isn't that shocking?
It is.
He's 24. He doesn't turn 25 until August. Number 2, you talked about, he's kind of a little, he's listed. And we always know when you're listed, you're actually smaller. He's listed at 5'10", 165.
No, that's accurate now. Everyone's accurate now. 5'10" is accurate. The 165, no chance.
You think he's less or more than that?
More.
So maybe he's low 170s?
I think I've said this. You get next to him.
Yeah, he's
like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah, here's a good example. Okay, bear with me, people. Planet of the Apes.
Oh, gosh.
Right? Like the new ones. Caesar is the name of the head ape, right? And he's like not the biggest ape, but then sometimes he gets challenged and all of a sudden he goes like, "Rah," like gets like his back all like that's what Corbin Carroll is, dude. Like you don't think he's that big, then you get next to him, and it's like, dude, this motherfucker's got a big old back. Like he's wide.
So when I see him next week at Dodger Stadium, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Caesar?"
You won't know what you're talking about, bro. So I don't
Doesn't
think anyone
matter.
likes those movies except for me, but it's true. It's a good comparison if you know what I'm talking about.
So let's remember how rough his season was last year. It wasn't until June 11th that his OPS was above 600 for good for the rest of the year. It had been vacillating between the fives and low sixes for the first 2.5 months of the year. And finally, he got it going. In the last 2 months, he really turned it on. The other thing about him is that contract. Every time I see him swing the bat, 8 years, 111 mil, keeps ringing around my head like, what a deal the Diamondbacks are going to end up getting. Just a fantastic deal. He is awesome. As far as Verlander, he's actually pitched exceptionally well his last 5 starts. He's given up 9 earned runs total. I can tell the disappointment in his face when he leaves. Obviously, when he's losing, he wants to help his team win. But he had dreams of being probably the last 300-game winner in the history of the sport, and I don't think he's going to get there. He's at 262, so we're talking about being 38 wins shy. Let's say even he has a good last 4 months and somehow is able to rack up 10 more wins. Do you see him getting 28 more victories at age 42?
I don't. I think it's really, really hard to do that. Yeah. That's a
Yeah, it
lot.
sucks.
That's this season going off from now on, and then 2 more seasons.
So I think I'm sad for us too as baseball fans. Winning 300 games is an amazing, amazing achievement, and it happened a ton in my lifetime. I remember, it happening with Tom Seaver, which was a great day for him. I think that happened in New York when he was a White Sox. I remember it happening with Randy Johnson, which was really weird because it was like a rainish sort of day, I think, in Washington where he pitched for the Giants. I remember it happening with Greg Maddux. Like those were the big, big names in the history of the sport and achieving something. Do you know which pitcher in his 20s, which active pitcher in his 20s has the most career wins?
Active pitcher in his 20s has the most
Mhm.
career wins in his 20s. I don't. I'm drawing a blank.
Logan Webb has
Okay.
59 wins. He is 28 years old.
I was gonna say Corbin Burns, but I think he's 30.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
So we're never going to see this again, and it's kind of a bummer. I know that the win has taken a severe backseat when we talk about people, but so what? It
You
was a
know,
cool thing when I was a kid, and I would love to see it one more time, and I don't think we're going to have one.
no one's even close, Chris. I'm looking at the active leaderboard right now. Shout out my guy Kyle Gibson, who's 9th in all of baseball, active and career wins at.
I'm going to say he's at 101.
Put some respect on K. Gibbs' name. 112.
I mean, you made it sound like I said he was at 72.
It's JV at 262. It's Scherzer at 216. It's Kershaw at 212. Garrett Cole at 4. Think he's got a chance, people?
At what?
He's at 153. It's just not going to happen again.
No.
It's not. No.
He'll be 35 when he throws his next major league pitch, I think.
I don't know if 3,000 hits is going to happen again.
Well, we talked about it with Freddie Freeman yesterday.
Yeah.
He's less than 700 shy. Like we want that.
Yeah, we got a
Let's
few
go.
guys that are going to have a chance at it. And then after that, like after the guys, like the game has changed so much.
Yes. Well, you know what? I need to hear from people in the comments section because obviously I am significantly older than a lot of our listeners, which is great. I love it. It gives us very different lenses that we can all look through in what we appreciate in this sport. How important is seeing a 300-game winner to you? Would you like it? Does it matter? I'm curious. I would guess no. I think for me, it's just a little nostalgic. Maybe a little
Yeah.
bummed that we won't see another one.
Dude, this active leaderboard of career wins is just
It's
hilarious.
amazing.
Like,
We're
shout
gonna
out
have,
all these guys for sticking around so long. Like, some of these guys, like, a lot of these guys I played against and hit against.
I think that maybe 200 will be the new 300 in terms of victories. Just something to think about. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to talk to you about in this game very quickly. First inning, Josh Naylor ripped a ball over Yastrzemski's head to triples alley. It's easily going to score Carroll. I mean, he's basically by the time the ball gets to the wall and then gets stuck under the wall, he's rounding third. So he's easily scoring. They put their hands up because those are the ground rules. Ball gets caught under the wall. It's a ground rule double. Would you like to see us change the rules? That is such an obvious going to be triple. Let's play it. What do you say?
I hate when outfielders do that. I'm like, dude, just get the freaking ball. Like, I hate it. I think it's silly. Like, just go grab the ball out. And then if it proves to be hard to grab, like maybe we get the umpires together and say, okay, where should we place the runners? But like, go for the ball. Like, just go for it.
So you say
It's
change the rule.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't like the hands up thing. Like, this is Major League Baseball. Like, let's go.
Yeah. I hated it. I hated it. I mean, first of all, Naylor doesn't get a ton of triples, and he hit it perfectly. I know our buddy Dalton Feely, who's a Snakes fan, just like Jake, was like, come on, really? I would like to see us change that rule. I know it puts more on the umpire's plate in terms of where do we put them, but technology's better. We can match where guys are when the balls, we have different camera angles. We can do all that. Let's just make it easier. Thank you. All right, opposite feeling for a pair of really good National League teams on opposite coasts. After blowing a ninth inning lead, the Mets actually came back and beat the Pittsburgh Pirates, a walk-off sac fly courtesy of your boy Pete Alonso, who continues to swing it pretty good. Mets broadcast, I love the split screen and the Lindor foot. So that's a win. In the meantime, the Padres, with their vaunted bullpen, looked like they were wrapping up a win against the Halos till this happened.
Now Ward with a chance to give them the lead. And he hits one in the air. It's deep to left. Moving after it is Lockridge. He's in the corner at the wall. It's gone! A grand slam! Taylor Ward with the big blow in the top of the ninth.
Well, first of all, good news for our newest team member and family member at John Boy Media, Swilly, who has moved from the West Coast to the East Coast and stayed up late to watch that. And I could tell by her social media she was fired up. So that's great for her. The other side of this, let's start with the Padres. They've had several bullpen blowups over the last week. Is this just a rocky road or cause for concern?
It's just a rocky road. I mean, you're not going to be. They were essentially perfect at the beginning of the season. You're going to have mishaps like this. It's almost like I can liken it to like a place kicker in the NFL. Like, if they're doing their job, you kind of say, "Hey, good job." You don't really notice it, and then when they blow games or you miss kicks at the end of games, it becomes a story. Essentially, but this is going to happen. I mean, Robert Suarez was before that grand slam was just all over the place. He just couldn't find his location. It's crazy though, the numbers, Chris, because coming into that game, he had walked 4 batters all season long. That was in 17 2/3 innings pitched, only giving up 1 earned run, and then last night 4 walks alone and gave up 5 earned runs when it was all said and done. So the numbers ballooned from a 0.5 to a 3. In just one game, but it's going to happen, man. Throughout the season, you're not going to be perfect. So I really don't have many concerns about the bullpen. That pitch right there that Ward hit out was just an absolute hanger. Like, he did exactly what you're supposed to do with it. But if you're asking me if this is going to be like a problem moving forward, like, I don't think so.
I don't either. But it is interesting how we gave them so much love last week. And then in the Bronx, back-to-back days.
Wandy got hit really bad, and he's had like 3 bad outings in a row, or at least where he's given up runs. And
Yeah, I'm not worried about him yet. But bullpens are so finicky. It can go so quickly the wrong direction that everybody goes.
But they have so many guys too, though. Like,
that's true. They've got a lot of guys who've been very dependable.
Yeah.
The other question I wanted to ask, kind of getting back to the Mets and the Padres, which fan base has higher expectations this year?
I think both do, but judging from this is what I judge it on, basically, like social media, because I interact with a lot of different fan bases on there. I think the Mets are so cocky right now, dude. Like, they are feeling themselves, and rightfully so. Like, they put together a very strong team. Their player development has been obviously been fantastic. They've done all the right things since Steve Cohen has taken over. Like, getting David Stearns and building up, like, their pitching lab and figuring out, like, their minor league player development, everything. They've done everything the exact right way, and then they went and made the big splash and signed Soto, brought Pete back. Like, everything, they've done it all right. So I think their expectations are sky high, and honestly, rightfully so. Like, they are set up to be one of the organizations that's going to be in the running every single year. Padres fans, obviously very confident as well, but I just don't think their expectations are as high as the Mets right now. I don't.
I think if we'd asked this question going into the year, that it was definitely the Mets, even though they had major questions about their rotations up and down the board. The Padres were, I think fans were really curious to see what this team would have
Sure.
after an offseason where they had to, I wouldn't say gut the team, but they had to cut it a little bit and move on from some guys who were difference makers for them. Plus questions going in with their rotation, obviously, because of health or lack thereof. I actually think it's the Padres who do, because they are still feeling the effects of all of the Dodgers saying after the World Series that the Padres were our toughest out, and we were legitimately worried when we were down 2-1 heading into Game 4 at Petco Park. You didn't hear the Dodgers talk about the Yankees that way. It was the exact opposite. I think the Dodgers had a ton of respect for the Mets and what they accomplished against them, but you didn't hear them giving them bouquets and throwing wonderful compliments. But you heard almost to a man the Dodgers say, damn, the Padres were good.
No, I think Padres fans are very confident in their team and should be, rightfully so, confident in their team. But I do think there is the Dodger aspect to this. I don't think because New York, the Mets, yes, got eliminated by them last year, but they don't face them a ton. I think that Padres fans seeing the Dodgers quite often, and then, yeah, having them say that, and then what happened in that series last year, I think is in their heads for sure.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with all of that. You can let us know in your comments section. That's
Can't
all
wait
good.
for that. Can't wait for people to tell me I'm a Dodgers glazer. Oh my gosh.
Just move on to this.
Sheesh.
Which
You know
is
who else I root
today's-
for? The A's.
What's that?
I root for the A's too. I'm going to the game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I'll see you down there.
You're
Today's
gonna be
episode-
there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I have to do some work. Dugout discussions.
I'm gonna come early too. We'll hang out.
Okay. Yeah, you could be my my extra intern. Sorry, Sawyer.
I'm gonna have some beers, I think.
Today's episode sponsored by True Classic. True Classic has one mission: to make sure guys look good and feel even better. They have nailed fit, feel, and price across your entire wardrobe. We're not just talking about t-shirts, but hoodies, jeans, activewear, everything you need to level up your everyday style. But True Classic isn't just about great clothes. Their brand DNA, it's built on being highly intentional in everything they do, from creating high-quality essentials to making folks laugh with their hilarious ads, to delivering Ritz-Carlton level customer service, to giving back to the communities they believe in. Every detail is done with purpose. So forget overpriced designer nonsense. You skip the cheap throwaways. True Classic delivers premium essentials built for real life. You can grab yours at Target or Costco, or head on over to trueclassic.com/today to get hooked up today. Believe me, they'll have you feeling your best and looking your best as well. I've got a ton of different tees that fit great. They fit even better these days. I look good. I'm feeling good. And I like the jeans. I got to be honest with you. Another pair of jeans to my wardrobe. True Classic. Go get it. All right. 2 more quick things before we get out of here. Few streaks are on the line. Cardinals are going for a 10th straight win tonight when they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. And Kyle Schwarber looking to get on base for the 48th straight game. And that's the part I want to focus on today. With on base being such a big part of how we evaluate talent these days, do you think we should hold Ted Williams' 84-game on-base streak with the same reverence that we do Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak?
This is a very interesting question, and I was about to do some math on this, and I decided against it because that's not my strong suit. My initial thought is no, we shouldn't. And there's no disrespect to my guy, Ted Williams. I named my son partially after you. So I immensely respect what you did for the game of baseball and our country. But the hits is the hard thing to come by. League average, batting average is what, 250, 240 something?
God, I don't even know if it's that high.
So that's what I was going to look up. The percentage of batting average versus on base percentage, what the difference is, and try to do all that stuff. So someone in the comments, if you want to do that, let us know the percentages. And if 56 matches up with 84 in that percentage range, that's what I was going to do, but I didn't know how to do it. When you have to get the hits, I think that's the most impressive thing, because you can have a guy 4-pitch walk you and have no influence in the at bat whatsoever. But getting those hits day in and day out, I think, to me is more impressive. And I don't think it'll ever even come close to being touched. I don't.
When I first started drawing up this question, I can't find right now league. I don't know, Sawyer or Dan, if you guys can find it, what the league average for batting average is and on base percentage. I guess we would love to know those numbers. You don't even think about it because we're just so ingrained to think about Joe DiMaggio with the hit streak, the amazing video of him like cutting through the 56. That's a classic shot in baseball lore. 84 straight games to have reached base. Think about that. There's
a lot.
So there's only 5 guys ever who have a longer than a 60 game on base streak. Williams has 2 at 84 and 73. DiMaggio is sandwiched in between 74 in 1941. The only 3 that are over 60 are Miguel Cabrera, Mark McGwire, and Jim Tomei. Pretty good. Pretty fun. Let's see here. Our guys got it up.
Got it. It's 243 right now is league average, batting average, and then 316 is on base percentage. And I'm going to do a little something here. Bear with me, people. 243 divided by 316.
Wow.
Does that mean it's 76 more? I don't know. Don't make me do this. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
That's so bad.
Let's stop while we're
behind.
I got
76. Is that 76% more? Is 316 76% more than 243? I don't freaking know. That's
now you really got me. We need a math.
Even trying to do that right now, guys.
Yeah, we need a math brain in the comments to help us figure out statistically why one is more impressive than the other. I will leave this discussion with this note. My dad was at the game where DiMaggio's streak was snapped. And yes, the then Indians had a third baseman named Ken Keltner, who was a decent player. My dad said he was playing so far behind the bag that if DiMaggio wanted to bunt to keep the streak going, he could have done it. He said he ripped 2 Keltner's way, and he would never have made the play if he had just been playing normal depth as a third baseman. But he said because he was almost playing on the edge of the outfield grass to, deal with DiMaggio's ability to turn on a baseball. He made a couple of plays that day that ended the streak.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Smart guy.
Yeah. I loved it that my dad was at those games. That's neat. All right. Last thing. You probably have seen it on our social media. Time to have a little fun. Rob Lowe dropped by the John Boy Media Studios. And one thing he did was the Aaron Boone effing savages, in the box, the whole bit. He had Rob Lowe read it as though he was Aaron Boone. Here's how he did.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. My guys are fucking savages in that fucking box, right? And you're having a piece of shit start to this game. I feel bad for you. Fucking get better. That guy is a good pitcher, but our guys are fucking savages in that box. Our guys are savages in the fucking box. Tighten it up right now, okay? Tighten this shit up.
Pretty good.
It was awesome, man. I reposted. I texted Jimmy and Jake. I said, dude, like this could open the floodgates. I really do believe that. And I was talking to Jimmy, like, who else could we do? He wants to have 2 actors do the umpire and the manager, like go back and forth. Thinks that would be funny. Obviously, different people like Morgan Freeman. I was trying to think like whose voice could Morgan Freeman kind of like fit. I kept going back to like Ron Gardenhire a little bit, like, you know, a little bit more old school, a little slower. But literally having anybody read that, like you could put anybody in there and it's going to be funny. I don't know why. It just works.
It's great. I actually like if they ever do a Yankees movie, Rob Lowe as Aaron Boone isn't horrific. I think he could
Pretty
actually
good.
that was I thought he nailed it.
He came on Talking Baseball yesterday and did some things. He's a baseball fan.
Yeah. He's also an NFL fan from the hat.
Yeah, just of the logo. Yeah.
Yeah, just the logo. One quick note, Paul Skeens just announced for Team USA World Baseball Classic.
Love that.
Doesn't surprise me.
That's next spring training,
next
right?
spring.
Oh, I can't wait.
We got to figure out a way to get there.
We got to go.
We have to. Okay, that's our mission. Yeah. To figure out how to properly put in perspective batting average versus
to a WBC game.
What's that? Have I been?
Have you been to it?
Yeah, I went to the final in 2017 here. It was fun.
I don't know. I went to 2014 then, maybe?
I think I covered the first one in 2013, and then I covered it again in 2017 when it finished at Dodger Stadium. And it was great. It was awesome.
I saw Team USA play against Team Puerto Rico, I think, in Miami. I went.
That's good stuff. Really good. All right, we're back at it again on Wednesday. We cannot wait. Always leave your comments. Fully appreciative. If you haven't checked out Dugout Discussions with our guest Vladimir Guerrero Jr., please do that. Always a good time. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Wednesday here on Baseball Today.